Right, guys, what we want to do now is to create some kind of button here that we can delete each of these posts as we want. I'm going to take off this where is it? I'm going to take off this one. Yep. So we want to add a button here to delete each of these posts. So what we'll do is we'll come here in this block list, we'll create a button element, a button like so, and then we say delete post. Yeah, now we are going to attach an on-click event here. This on-click event is going to, once you click it, is going to fire a function. What kind of function is it going to fire? It's going to fire a callback function. Now this is the function like this. So how do we call our function? We've not created a function yet. We can call it handle delete. We can call it handle delete. Then we have to pass in some kind of ID inside here, because we don't just want to delete random posts. We want to pass in some kind of ID inside here. So we have access to the ID from this block. So we'll say block dot ID. That's what we want to send. But now we can go ahead and create our function here, because this is where we want to use it. So let's make a constant and we call it just same name. We call it this is still a function. And now this is the function that is going to handle our delete. But now if we do it inside here, then we will have to look for a way to make sure it gets here, because this is where our state is living. We have to make sure we look for a way for this function to get here and delete any of these posts that we have here, any of these blocks. But that's not a very nice way to do it, because we also need this set block to use it in order to reset the state after we have filtered, because we'll use the filter method in array to filter out what we don't need. Then we'll use this set block again to set it. So the best way to do that is to create our handle delete function inside the parent component, where we'll just put it under here. We'll create it where the state is living. That is where we want us to create our function. Then we are going to pass this function as a prop. We are going to pass it as a prop to this component, like so. Yes, we'll pass it like a prop to this component. Then we are going to destructure it also here, and then we can make use of it. Then we have access now to this, and then we can make use of it. Remember that we are sending the particular ID that we want to filter out. We are sending it back to the home component. So now let's see how we are going to make this to happen. So we are still going to do the same thing that we did before. We have access to our blocks here. So we are going to create some kind of constant to hold the blocks permanently. So new blocks is equals to our blocks. So this is what we want to filter. Our blocks dot filter. Our blocks dot filter, it receives a function still. So what do we want to do now? We want to bring in the ID now and compare. If this function returns true at any point in time, then it will save the value here. But if it returns false, it's going to discard the value. So for example, if we have now, we will do block. We'll take in our block here, and then we'll not need this because this is just well, let's just leave it there. We'll take in our block dot, we are checking the ID. If that ID is different from the ID that is coming in, so this is going to have some kind of ID. Sorry, ID, not Indian. So this is going to have some kind of ID. So let me take off this one. This is a single line of code, so it's going to be fine. So if we do this, what we are saying is this ID, block.id, will take each of this ID. If it is different from this ID, this thing is going to be true. Let's use a case. If the ID that we are sending from here is, let's say, 2, okay, so now what is this? This is going to be the ID 2. We have 2 here, and then it's going to compare this block.id. So 1 is 1 different from 2, true. It is different from 2, so it is going to keep this first post here. It's going to store it inside here, and then it will check the second one. Is this ID equals to this one? This ID, is it different from this one? It's going to be false because it is not different. This is 2 and this is 2. It's not different, it's the same. So it will return false. Because it has returned false, it's going to discard this particular one, and then it will not store anything there. It will check the third one. Is 3 different from 2? Yes, it's different from 2, so it will store it. Is 4 different from 2? Yes, it will store it. Is 5 different from 2? Yes, it will store it. And then we want to return this ID. So what are we going to do with this one now? We are going to use our set block and set it to new block. So new block is what we have just returned. All the things that we have returned that came out to be true, and we saved them inside. We are going to return it now. We'll use it and put it inside here as our new block. So guys, finger crossed. Let's hope that one is going to work. Let me make it bigger. So we have all our buttons. So we delete. Oh, you see, it deletes it. It filters it and it deletes it. We don't have anything. So if we refresh, we have everything back, and we click, and you see it's working perfectly. When we refresh, it comes back because the initial state is blocks, and blocks is everything. So when we refresh, we get everything back. Once as you click this button, on click, it sends this ID, this particular block.id, it sends it as a prop back to here, and then this one, it receive it here as a parameter, and then it compares it with these other local ones that we have inside here. If the value is false, it discard it. If it is true, it returns it.